Well, I tell you, partisanship is it's frustrating, it's pervasive, and it's a big problem. And if you look at what's happening with the economic crisis, I think it's a good development that both sides were able to work together. In Washington, we came to and I was fully supportive of coming together with a plan that both sides would support. And the reason is it's a big crisis, and we need to work together for the betterment of the country. So that's an important question, and I hope to see that spread, not just from that issue, but to all the issues that we have to deal with that are important. Education, healthcare. We have an enormous crisis with healthcare coming up, and we're going to have to work across party lines to solve that one. So I'm intended to work. There's plenty of physicians in Congress, and I'm going to be working carefully with one of them from Louisiana, who's a physician I have a good relationship with, Republican, and others. But we have to have a bipartisan solution on health care. And the national security is a critical issue. Energy, a very important issue that I have a lot of expertise on. And that's an issue that we share, domestic, international concerns, and we have to work together to find a solution. So I think really what's driving this is the importance of those big issues that we have to learn to work together. Now, since I'm relatively new in Congress, I haven't developed those long-term partisan misgivings that older members and more senior members do, and I intend to look at members on the other side of the aisle with the sort of fresh look that I have since I've got to Congress. Well, the economic recovery plan, I think, was a very important, critical step for our country. In history, when we have a crisis like this, it's important for the federal government to show leadership and to address these problems head on. And what the president first proposed didn't have the taxpayer protections. It didn't have anything for homeowners that are facing foreclosure. And it didn't have any oversight. So I was insistent that we have those three elements: oversight, strong oversight, that we have taxpayer protection so that the money is invested and the taxpayer can get that money back. Hopefully it'd pay down the entire $700 billion. And then, so those are strong elements. Now, I supported that package when it first left the House, when it first came up for a vote. It failed, went to the Senate, and in order to pass the Senate, they added $140 billion worth of projects, most of which I supported as long as they were paid for. But the Senate put those in, and it was such a strong case to get this passed that I was able to support it. I don't think that's a good way to do things. I think we need to take those on their own merits and find ways to pay for them before they get voted on. But in this case, the case of the need for the recovery package was so strong that I felt the need to support that. Well, I tell you what, I know that it's better than doing nothing, and I think it's going to have an impact on slowing down the lack of confidence and giving people an opportunity to look at their mortgages if they're facing foreclosures. It'll give a little bit more confidence to the credit market, and in the end, it will prevent us from going down as far as we would otherwise. So I think we still have some challenges ahead of us, but I'm quite sure that the recovery package is going to help both in terms of not letting us go down as far as we would go otherwise and making the recovery happen sooner.